Hi everyone, this is Dave from Pandora Prime Recon, and we're going back to our roots today with openings for these two starter decks from the Invasion Verdicon expansion set for the Warhammer 40,000 CCG. Just to give you background, if you don't know, this game came out probably around 2002, 2003. Verdicon was the third expansion in the card game. The first set was Pandora Prime Recon, then Chronos Campaign was the second set to come out, Battle for Delos 5 was the third one, and Verdicon was the one that came afterwards, with Malagrim Hive being the last one. I found these starter decks off of a fellow user in one of the old Facebook collector groups, and so I'm missing a few cards for some of these factions because I actually want to build decks for these factions. And so I ordered these, but I thought it'd be cool to kind of open them up and just show you all what these products look like and just see what's inside. I know what's inside, but it's been a long time since I've opened one of these, so I thought it'd be fun to share with you all. So again, we've got Dark Angels faction and the Catachans. So these are two of the four factions that were introduced in this set. The other two were Craftworld Alley Talk for Eldar, and the last one was, oh my god, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on the last one. It'll probably come back to me at some point, but that's not important. I'm sure it'll come back to me 5 hours later after I've recorded this video. Anyways, let's open this up and see what's inside. Let's move the Dark Angels one out of the way first. See, it's still got the shrink wrap on it. Again, so you see it says there's 66 card deck that includes 3 rare and 6 premium cards. The first couple sets, Pandora Prime and Chronos Campaign, they only included 2 rares in their starter decks, and everything in this deck is fixed. There's no mystery, there are no booster packs, it's all fixed, so you know exactly what you're getting, for better or for worse. They call them 6 premium cards, but I think they're just referring to the fleet card, which you need to play the faction, and the 5 sector cards, which you also need to play a game. So I don't know if they call them premium cards, but I guess that's marketing speak. Anyways, let's just rip this open and see what's what. Okay. Shrink wrap is one of my worst enemies, but we conquered them today. So let me get this out of the way here and open up the box. Try not to damage the box too much because I like to keep it just for display purposes. All right, let's see what's inside. So first we've got rulebook. This is a lot smaller of a rulebook than the other ones I have. The other ones I have are usually yay by so. This is super tiny. Yeah, super tiny text, but yeah, I think most of the content is more or less the same as previous rulebooks. It's pretty cool. Let's just leave that over here on the side. What else do we have? Ooh, we have some oversized cards, which I did not expect. I guess that's why they're called premium cards. I did not expect that. All right, so let's go through these. We've got the Catachans fleet card, massive size. We also have these massive fleet cards. No, sorry, not fleet cards, sector cards. So this is the Verdicon set of sectors. So the Deep Jungle, reactions modifiers can't be played, which is, it hurts most factions, but it probably hurts Chaos the most. We've got the Vortimar Caverns. Yes, so Verdicon, I've written in one of my articles on Pandora Prime Recon, my blog. Verdicon was kind of the first set that really kind of dropped the hammer on extra BAs. Extra BAs was a pretty notoriously powerful mechanic, especially with Chaos and to another extent Orcs. So this set really tried to crack down on those extra BA strategies. So Develco Refinery, the Proconius Landing, and Calpithian Marshlands. All right, I don't actually have these, so I'm really excited to see these. I was pleasantly surprised to see these were in the starter. Cool. All right, so that's the big cards, and let's see what else is in here. All right, let's get these out of the way. Okay, so here's the deck itself. Again, shrink wrap. Okay, I get this removed quickly and safely. I don't mess up the cards too much. Alrighty. Okay, so again, this should be a 60 card Catachan deck. So these are some of the commons. Rough Riders, that's a reprint from Coronis, I believe. Ratskin Rough Riders. So lots of assault units, which tends to be a theme, I think, for Catachans. It's Mordix, a character, common character. Mortar Squad, I like this unit a lot. It's common, but it's got really simple artillery roll, and yeah, I think as Imperial Guard, you want your tests to be as easy to pass as possible. Feeding a Hive Militia. It's got some generic fortification cards here. So I think most of these are still commons. Infantry Squad, this is a reprint of Corona's campaign. Headhunters, I really like this ability to basically react off of your opponent's reactions. More Rough Riders. I think we have all the Rough Riders in here. Command Squad. Chimera, again, a lot of stuff from Corona's campaign. Catachan Mortar Squads, this is new to the Verdicon set. It's another infantry artillery unit. It's pretty cool. Kaufman's, this guy is one of our rares. And again, this is an entirely fixed deck. Everything in here is exactly the same as every other Catachan starter deck, so there are no surprises. Let's give you a second to read this. So he locks to infiltrate a Catachan unit or fortification, which is cool. And while he's locked, all of your shooting from Catachan units can be blocked. So this guy's pretty useful, I think. And what I really like is the command line, whereas any infantry unit gets plus D6 firepower, which is a lot of firepower for a tactic. Here's our second rare, it's Graxox Grunts. So it's 023, pretty decent stat line for an assault unit. So assault 4, and as an event on a 4+, it destroys an enemy unit. So again, it's pretty solid. Not sure how often you'll pass that test as Imperial Guard, but if you do, it'd be a pretty nice bonus. And as a command line, on a 4+, you charge or locked Catachan assault unit. And Catachans do have a fair number of assault units, so this can be useful. It dies a little low, but again, what do you expect from Imperial Guard? And Acadian Chimera. So 033, non-flag unit. What I really like is this ability. So after setup, you can charge one of your infantry assault units. And I really like these abilities that kind of add tempo to your deck, where you get to take extra actions and, you know, try and get tempo on your opponent. Tempo is CCG gaming term. If you're familiar with Magic or Hearthstone, it's kind of a similar ability. And again, I think here are the uncommons: Sentinel Clear Cutters, Rattling Snipers, a very anti-character unit, Mordian Iron Guard, uncommons, Devil Squad, Constrictors, Catachan Squad, again, like a pretty frail assault unit, but assaults for D6, and can potentially rally, which is, so it kind of punches above its weight, even though it's not especially durable. And Blink Stormtroopers, so these guys function very similar to the Acadian Chimera, where if you have more infantry units than your enemy, then they get to charge right off the bat, which I think is, I think it's an ability I really want to look into when I build my Catachan deck. Black Blades Patrol, again, Assault D6 for a pretty frail infantry unit, kind of the theme of Catachans. And then Dense Jungle is our last set of cards here. So yeah, this is the Catachans deck. I don't really know how well this deck plays out of the box. I know that traditionally, these starter decks aren't particularly powerful. Like the rares compared to other rares in the same set are generally slightly underpowered. So I don't really have too much faith in how strong this deck is, but it's a good starting point for building my own deck. So yeah, this is Catachans, and let's move on to Dark Angels. So let me get this out of the way here. All right, so here's the Dark Angels one. Again, we're gonna try and find that tab and pull until we can get rid of all this regret. Oh my goodness. Amazing. Okay, okie dokie. Here we go. So Dark Angels is a Master of the Deathwing. I think this card is actually in the deck, which is good. So let's give you a look at the back of the box. Again, 66 card deck. Prince in Canada. Canada represent. All right, let's open this up. So probably gonna see a lot of very similar things. So we've got the rulebook again. Tiny rulebook. And big cards. Tiny rulebook, big cards. So this is the Dark Angels fleet card. And then, again, the same sectors, same 5 sectors. So I guess instead of talking about the sectors, I actually didn't talk about the Catachan fleet card, which I probably should, just for a second, because I didn't really show it. So let's take a look. First wave 2, which is pretty decent. First waves can range from 0 to 3, usually, on the printed fleet card. So their ability is, after you make first wave deployments, if one of more of your first waves was a Catachan card, you basically make another deployment. So generally, it'll act as first wave 3, which is a pretty large number. Catachans and Imperial Guard units in general are pretty frail, so they kind of need the numbers to make up for it. And so that's kind of one of the reasons why I want to build a deck for this specific faction, because I think there are some cool things you can do with Catachans. Now let's take a look at the Dark Angels. So you see Dark Angels is first wave 1, which is not that much, but it's the usual number for Space Marines factions. So there are 2 abilities for Dark Angels. The first is that whenever your enemy plays a card or ability, that could destroy 2 more of your units at once. Instead, they're locked. So this is really good when you're playing against mass kill creatures like the Avatar, or greater demons such as Great Unclean One or Bloodthirster, or even BA cards that would potentially destroy more than 1 unit. This essentially prevents that. And the reason this is good is because Space Marines are traditionally really good at boosting their armor. And so how you get around that is by trying to destroy units directly instead of using damage. So this is kind of like a fail-safe in case your armor boosting doesn't really work. And the second ability is when you draw your command hand, you draw an extra card for each of your Dark Angels characters. So this is a theme for most, if not all, Space Marine factions, where they rely on characters to get bonuses, and a lot of times you'll generally get to draw extra cards for having characters in your deck or at a sector. So again, all of these are trying to kind of make up for the low first wave, because Space Marines are pretty tough, so to give them a higher first wave would potentially make them really, really strong. Okie doke. So we'll just quickly go through the rest of it here. The deck. All right. See if I can find the tab on this one. Haven't found it yet. I can instead just probably go from the bottom here. All right. Okay. So again, we're going to see a bunch of reprints from previous sets in these starters. So we've got Squad Tiberius. Oh, we got 4 of these? That's pretty cool. I think you usually get 3 commons in starter decks. Yeah, all right, I'll take it. Squad Celerius. Okay, now we got 3 of them. So this is Dark Angels. I guess it's a Raven Wing bike squad. Pretty cool. Squad Pelchus. More Dark Angels. Squad Logos. So you'll see some scout squads here with pretty frail stats, but they usually make up for it with, or try to make up for it with, some kind of utility. I don't know if they're worth it. I generally don't try to include scout squads in my deck, but there might be some exceptions. Squad Damocles is a pretty staple Space Marine. It's just really solid stat line. Counterattack's always useful, and the command line gives one of your units counterattack as well if you have a character. So this guy's Damocles is pretty solid. It has a bit of trivia. It has the same artwork as the uncommon from Pandora called Squad Faustus. Also a very good Space Marine card. Squad Cavalier, reprint. Raven Lang Speeder. Raven Lang Bike Squad. These are potentially really cool because their firepower can go up to the number of flags required to take a sector. So their firepower can go anywhere from 2 to 4, which is really good for a high-speed unit. Mordecai, Interrogator Chaplain. Got some more land speeders. This is from Pandora Prime. Is it reprint, sorry. Deathwing Terminators. I believe these are from Coronis originally. So these, again, are a reprint. Bike Squad. Got Generic Fortification. Ash Waste. I think this is a reprint as well. All right, so go to our rares now. So the first one is Venerari. So this is a Dreadnought. 2/1/3, so kind of a middling stat line. On a 3+, any unit gets +1 firepower. So it seems a little bit underwhelming, but I think Space Marines especially don't have a lot of firepower boosting abilities. So for 1, it could boost its own firepower up to 3, which again isn't great, but it's usually enough to take out most units. And you can boost firepower for essentially any other unit at your sector, which is especially good for bike squads, which have high speed. or for taking out, higher armor 4 units, because most Space Marine shooting units are firepower 3. And the command line is, to your action, after you destroy an enemy unit by counterattacking, you rally any unit. And as we'll see, Dark Angels are pretty good at counterattacking. They have a lot of themes and abilities based around counterattacking, so this could be pretty synergistic. Yeah, this is Fenrir, Squad Barakiel. So this is a rare, but it's vanilla rare. There's absolutely no text on it. That's because it has very high stats, so 314. Probably more a reason why is that it's die 6. It's hard to find upper die units that are also really, really strong on the table. So that's probably why it has no text, and probably also why it has a negative command line for you. So you probably want to get rid of this card from your hand as soon as possible. But very strong, and again, it's a Deathwing unit, so you can't go too far wrong with that. Last one is Master of the Deathwing. So this guy's pretty cool. It locks on 3+ to give any of your Dark Angels units get +2 armor. And the other ability, which I think is really cool, is to lock an infantry unit with speed 1 to straight up destroy any enemy unit while he's locked. So it's got a high die roll. The command line lets you boost armor. And I think this card is really, really solid in Dark Angels deck. And if you can see, speed 1. So it works with Terminators. It also works with Fenrir, as well as working with the other Devastator squads, which are usually speed 1 as well. So I think there's some cool synergies to be had with Master of the Deathwing. Let's go through some of the rest of the stuff. So I think these are the uncommons. So that are Sergeant Rachiel, Ultramarine Terminators, more speed 1 units. For Master of the Deathwing, Tech Marine Cray, Squad Praxelis, Squad Horatius. I use these guys in my generic Space Marines deck, and these guys are really, really good because they have essentially 4 firepower against any charging unit, combined with their 3 speed, means they can shoot down basically any assault unit coming your way, as well as being a pretty solid assault unit themselves. Squad Gladius, again, a speed 1 Devastator unit, which works well with your Master of the Deathwing. Squad Arbalan, again, this is quite a solid unit. The only problem is the 1 die, but there's some Dark Angel cards that rely on die 1 cards, so there could be some synergy there. But again, 3/2/3 counterattack is pretty solid. Heavy Bolter Attack Bikes, it's a pretty decent biker unit, which can block and shoot with high speed. It also has an ability to, I don't know if you've played a lot of Magic, but this is essentially Hymn to Turok in your command hand. And there's some cards in the Space Marines, lineup, which revolve around making your opponent discard cards or doing things when your opponent has no cards in hand. So this can help towards that strategy. Last card is Apothecary Varkin, which I think is a must-have for a Dark Angels deck because the lock ability essentially gives any of your Dark Angels infantry units at least 1 armor because it counts their characters. So obviously Varkan himself is going to be at the sector, so you can essentially give any of your Dark Angels units +1 armor for free, if not more, if you have more characters at the sector. And the command line also adds armor, so this helps out keeping them alive. So yeah, that was Dark Angel starter deck. Again, just show you again the 2 boxes here. Yeah, I hope this was a little bit insightful into a little bit more of the Warhammer 40,000 CCG. I have a lot of these cards already, but again, I'm missing some of the stuff. Like I'm missing, these fleet cards. I don't have these massive sector cards. That's nice. So yeah, let me know if you've ever played this game back in the day, or if you'd like to see more of this stuff. I'm happy to talk about this game because it's kind of a little bit of a nostalgia trip for me, and I really enjoy it. And I'm still trying to figure out strategies and decks for this game. Yeah, so again, that's it for today. And if you want to read articles about this game, you can again check out my blog. It's called Pandora Prime Recon. You can visit it at pandoraprimerecon.com. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.